quick supports time. Let's go. Byleth and Edelgard? Sure.
Oh, it's you. Out late again, I see. What brings you here? I just wanted some fresh air. There's a lovely breeze tonight. I always wander outside when sleep evades me. So I see. Still, it's ill-advised to stay up so late. I should get some sleep too, but... Have you ever felt a sort of longing for the outdoors? I have. There are times I long for the warmth of the sun, for a sweet breeze on my face. Do you remember what I told you the other night? About none of my siblings had a chance to lead the sort of life they deserved. An ordinary life.
Neither do you. Because you've been pushed into... not what they wanted. Well, you're pushed into not what you want to do either.
We were imprisoned underground, beneath the palace. The objective was to endow our bodies with the power of a major crest. I have always possessed the crest of Seiros, inherited through the Hresvelg bloodline, but it was only a minor crest. And most of my siblings bore no crest at all. In order to create a peerless emperor to rule Fodlan, they violated our bodies by cutting open our very flesh. Now here I stand, the fruit of that endeavor. Edelgard von Hresvelg. But that came at too high a price. The others were sacrificed.
Yep, it's the same thing that happened to Lysithea. Because Edelgard's hair color used to be brown. Lysithea's doesn't have a canon one, but that's why her and Lysithea's hair is of a whiter, silvery color.
Ours weren't the
no
only
one else
lives
is.
Devastated by that terrible process. Innocents died as well, without even knowing what they were dying for. And there you have it, the truth of the Hresvelg's empire. The Prime Minister and his gaggle of nobles. They had the empire under their thumbs. My father, the Emperor, tried to stop him, but it was futile. My father was nothing but a puppet on a string by then. He was powerless to save us. I know how it all sounds, but when you see my true strength, you will know I speak the truth. I have kept it hidden all this time, but I will reveal to you the power of my second crest.
Brace for it.
It is the same as yours, the crest of flames. When it manifested for me, I swore a silent oath. For the sake of my family, and for all the poor souls whose lives were traded for my existence.
I will clarify for the people who are thinking, that's going to come up. It doesn't. Ever again. This is the only time it's ever mentioned unless I mention it.
For their sake, I will build a world where such meaningless sacrifice is never again sanctioned.
Like you'd have thought that if she ever turned evil, she tried to steal the sword of the creator. No, she never does. No, doesn't happen.
Welcome, Professor. This is the first time I have welcomed you here, is it not? There is no need to be nervous. Please, come closer. When you speak with me here in this room, you are not... My apologies. I should not be treating you like a child. As Gerald's kin, somehow you don't seem at all a stranger to me.
Yeah, but he doesn't like you. He ran away from you.
Speaking of Gerald, may I ask if he ever spoke of me to you? Oh dear, how heartless of him. In any case, let us endeavor to become closer from here on out. Since you are here, shall I tell you about the Gerald that I knew? By the look of it, you haven't heard much about his time at the monastery, have you? When I first met Gerald, he was quite young. Why, he could not even grow a full beard at that point. On one fateful occasion, the band of mercenaries he belonged to fought alongside the Knights of Seiros. I was traveling with the Knights at the time, and Gerald jumped in front of an attack meant for me. He was gravely wounded, on the verge of death. I tended to his wounds in a desperate attempt to save his life. Thankfully, my efforts were not in vain. Gerald managed to escape a seemingly certain death. I made arrangements for him to receive further care at Garrick Mach. The moment... Well, it is not a story I have often repeated. Even at the monastery, there are not many who know that. I tell you this because, to me, you are the child of the one who saved my life all those years ago.
And because she is the daughter of Citri, who was a religious person, and Rhea did know her.
And also... Never mind. It is nothing. I simply wanted to say that I trust you. By coming to visit with me today, you have... Well, suffice it to say that my day is brighter than it otherwise would have been. I thank you for that.
Byleth and Bernie.
Great weather today. Perfect for shutting yourself inside, don't you think? I'm glad you get it. With great weather like this, there'll be no one inside to bother us. I love feeling like I'm all alone in the world. Oh, that. Well, I guess I can tell you, Professor. My father's obsessed with money. He's only ever seen me as bait for a rich husband to train me to be a good wife. He'd do things like tie me to a chair. I tried hard to do as he asked. Honestly, I did. But before I knew it, I just couldn't bring myself to leave my room anymore. I just had this overwhelming feeling of fear all the time. No matter how hard I tried, my father never thought I was good enough. After that, it was just constant scolding. He couldn't say 2 words to me without mentioning how useless I was. An unmarriageable girl.
Yeah, he's the problem that's why that happened in the first place.
My life was isolated, to say the least. I wasn't allowed to play with other kids, let alone make friends. Soon, I stopped wanting that. I was happiest alone, but even that made him mad. And when he tried to drag me outside, I kicked and screamed so much, I seriously hurt myself. He's calmed down a bit in recent years. His constant torment was replaced with complete indifference. He mostly acts like I don't exist now. If you can believe it, I was basically kidnapped. My mother ordered an attendant to stuff me in a bag while I was sleeping. By the time I figured out what was going on, I was already here. For a while, I was sure I was going to die. But here I am. Look at me, still breathing. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get you down talking like that about my past. Just forget everything I told you. There's no point in talking about myself anyway. Idiot! Oh, this is why everyone hates you, Bernie! What? No, it's not. Oh, Professor! How can you be so kind to me? I don't deserve it.
Yes, you do.
I'm sorry. Please don't look at me.
You do deserve it, Bernie. How many people has she got to talk to? Marianne as well.
Professor, there's something I need to say. Thank you. How should I put this? I don't seem to be getting along with everyone. I don't contribute much either. Am I a nuisance to you, Professor? If so, I'll leave. Of course, my adoptive father may not understand, but if I must... Oh, my adoptive father is one of the new nobles of the Alliance. His territory is to the north. He was a distant relative who took me in after my parents vanished. He's blessed with great drive and ambition. Some may go so far as to call it avarice. He wishes to marry me off to a powerful noble. That's why he sent me to the academy. If I left now, I'm sure he'd have a strong opinion about it.
Screw that guy.
Sorry. I strayed away from the topic. I'm not good at telling stories either. Oh, of course. Where was I? So, as I was saying, are you sure I'm not bothering you, Professor? Oh, I'm so grateful to hear you say that. What I'm trying to say is, you should keep your distance. I'm more trouble than I'm worth. You only only say that because you don't know the real me. I'm sorry, I have to go.
Having played this game for a while, I know all your scenes. I know you very well. And I'm still not going to treat you like garbage. It's kind of why I chose you to be in my party in the first place. We'll do Edelgard and Constance B.
You've got a look of resolve on your face, Constance. Have you come to a decision?
Quite so. I never waver for long, you know. I can read the signs as well as anyone. Things are in flux. I mustn't remain shackled by the past. I am ready to enlighten you regarding the secret that House Nouvelle has kept for generations.
This is either going to be really poignant and amazing, or she's just going to be trolling.
You have my gratitude. You will be rewarded for taking such a drastic measure. To be clear, this is about your crest, correct?
Your instincts are sharp. According to the Empire's records, I bear the major crest of Macule. But those records are mistaken. In point of fact, the crest that I bear is...
The major crest of Noah, one of the lost saints. That bloodline was believed to have died out. No one, not even the Imperial nobility, bears that crest. How then did you come by that bloodline? And how did you manage to thwart the Empire's investigations into the matter?
All of the answers you seek are tied to House Nouvelle's origins. Close to 1,000 years ago, Saint Noah parted ways with Saint Seros. She lived out her days in seclusion on what would become Nouvelle territory. Her children obscured their origins before serving the Empire. It wasn't long before they were ennobled. I suspect Saint Noah feared that revealing her crest would only lead to tragedy.
So she passed it off as the crest of Macule, which already existed within the Empire.
Yes, much like Saint Macule, Saint Noah was known to be a masterful mage. Her magic ensured that any test would not reveal the true nature of her crest. Otherwise, someone may have exploited our bloodline long ago.
Yeah, because not everyone back then will have had the machine that Hanneman has now that visually shows crests.
House Nouvelle was known for producing as few heirs as possible. It was also known for keeping its offspring pure, mostly by disallowing marriage with other houses. All of that effort was in order to conceal Noah's bloodline, wasn't it?
Yes, but it was a factor in our house's ultimate downfall. Our priorities were, perhaps, not what they ought to have been. In sidestepping the internal strife within the Empire, we left ourselves open to the external threat posed by Dagda. With stronger blood ties to other houses, we might have had allies in our time of greatest need.
Interesting. I always had the inkling that the 6 noble houses were eager to see House Nouvelle fall. Thank you for trusting me with this. I swear that once I ascend the throne, I will do all I can to help you revive your fallen house.
Not in this playthrough, though. Standard red? Yeah. I would have loved to have seen that, because Constance is a nice character.
With this idea, I may be able to get the one-up on Edelgard.
This again.
Hubert! I wish you would not sneak up on me like...
Maybe you would be more perceptive if your mind were less burdened by sedition.
Sedition? Absurd. This is an important project.
Yes, I heard. A new way to prove how superior you are to Lady Adel. She is not your rival, Ferdinand. She is above you. A noble like you ought to know his place.
Anything is better than being a noble like you. Every time you open your mouth, it's Lady Edelgard this or Lady Edelgard that. Do you ever think for yourself? You follow her around like a pet. You spend all of your time fretting over her, and yet you never truly express an opinion of your own. Before you reprimand me, take a moment to consider your own failings.
Your nonsense is tiresome. So I hope this will be the last time I have to remind you. Lady Edelgard is the Imperial Princess. You are merely the Prime Minister's son.
Yes, I understand that. But my duty is to guide her, to give frank advice when she is on the wrong course of action. That is what I strive to do. Thus my devotion to surpass Edelgard, so that if she needs guidance, I will be prepared to give it. If you think it is tiresome to have a mind of your own, you will never be much of an advisor.
Does the river of filth pouring out of your mouth ever stop flowing?
No, I actually agree with Ferdinand on this
Your
one.
obsession with all things superficial is disgusting. It's no use. You're hopeless. I'll take my leave.
I have nothing more to say to you. Get out of here.
No, I completely agree. What's this? Bernie and Hubert. Oh, Crash has got a few. Hubert and Lyndon.
Well, this is fast.
Linhardt. Here again I see.
Go away, Hubert. Now is not a good time. Ah, yes. The double line becomes a helix, and its arc...
Now is exactly the time. Lady Edelgard requests your presence. Come. The lecture is about to start.
Politely inform her that my research is vastly more important than whatever it is she has to say.
It most likely is.
While your passion may be admirable, it is sadly misdirected. This matter takes priority. Return to your hobby when your duty is done.
Hobby? This research will most certainly prove useful in the future.
Yeah, like why your and Hanneman's research is really good in the future, just not right now.
The Empire requires you to be useful now. You have an almost unparalleled intellect. In truth, you have talents that many, including myself, will never have the privilege of possessing.
Are you complimenting me, Hubert? That alone deserves to be studied.
Let me finish. I haven't an ounce of respect for the cause you have chosen to waste, which changes, frequently I might add, with no... Learn to apply yourself to something constructive. You may still have a bright future.
That sounds suspicious.
You can't
as if
treat
you're not
geniuses
going
the
to
same way as standard people, because they don't view emotions as normal people. I say normal. As other people do who are not geniuses.
I just want to live a life doing things that interest me. Is that so wrong?
That is unacceptable, even for a nobleman. Her Highness will soon ascend the throne. She is attempting to deal with such noble privilege head-on.
You have a point, and I understand where you're coming from, but I can't do it. I can't bring myself to work for someone else.
Pathetic.
You do that in Red when you fight Red. You're always on her team for some reason. Bernie and Hubert.
Hubert?
Yes?
I wanted to thank you for the other day. You know, when I fainted. Thank you for carrying me back to my room.
That was nothing. It saved me effort in the long run. Leaving you there would have just caused even more trouble.
I guess that's true. Well, thanks. There, I said it, and now I'm going.
Is this why you've been circling me like a vulture for the last several hours?
Vulture's a bit...
Yet you would have fled if I'd approached. It seems you will avoid me at almost any cost.
Well, that's...
You don't need to say it. I know. I'm frightened. I'm told so often.
Please don't laugh like that.
Apologies. I will be mindful not to laugh in your...
The grin of death itself. Terrifying.
You think so?
Oh no, now you're angry too.
Hardly. I'm sorry to have frightened you.
No, you're not. It's a trick. You're lulling me into a false sense of security. I can't stand it.
She's a lost cause.
Was it last one just Lynn and Bernie? I've still got Lysithia and that too. Yuri and Bernie, sure.
Is that Yuri? I gotta evaporate. Maybe if I just curl into a ball, I'll pass as a boulder. Or a pebble.
Hey, Bernadetta.
You can see me?
Clearly. You're a tricky one. Always trying to hide when I'm around.
Sorry. Please forgive me.
If you want forgiveness, then explain yourself. But make it quick. You always ramble on.
Well, when I was little, my mother and father, they...
You've got to be kidding. Cut to the chase, please.
You remind me of one of my old friends.
Oh, come now. Whoever this friend of yours is can't possibly compare to me.
I'm telling the truth.
All right, all right. What was his friend like? The way you run and hide from me, they must have been a real piece of work.
That's not it at all. He was the assistant to the gardener at our estate. My friend was gentle, trustworthy, gorgeous, and, well, he was the only person who was ever nice to me. We used to run around the gardens playing.
And why is it?
That's... do I really have to say? We hardly even know each other.
You never have to do anything. But if you don't, you and I won't have a shot at knowing one another. And you'll carry on avoiding me forever.
But that's no good either. Okay. The thing is, because of me, he got in trouble. After that, I never saw him again. You see, my father hated commoners, and when he found out I was spending a lot of time with one, well, he's probably dead now, and it's all my fault! It's 'cause of me! He must have hated me.
That doesn't sound right to me. Why would you think all that? Nothing you did would make his death your fault. And hating you for something that isn't your fault is absolutely absurd. Delusional, even.
You're wrong! He'd definitely hate me if he knew. How would you know anyway? What? Did you know my friend or something?
In a manner. Right. So, remember back when you were a kid? You tripped while holding some gardening shears? And your friend got cut pretty badly.
Oh, yeah. I remember. But how did you know about that?
If I'd bore you any ill will, it would have only been for cutting my face with those damn shears.
Cutting your face?
But there is. That friend? That was me, Bernadetta. Anyway, I'm glad I finally got to hear how you felt about all of that. Let's spend time together later and chat about the good old days. Get to know each other again.
But how did... But...
Yeah, he's not a commoner, he's a noble. One of the 4 lost houses. 'Cause that was the DLC thing. Leonie and Bernie. I don't think I've seen this one before.
Oh, it's Leonie. Perfect. The soil's ready. Let's get to planting.
She's so diligent, I can barely... Oh, look at her elbow.
There we go, all set. Now a little water.
Her sleeve's all torn. She should get that fixed.
Hey, Bernadetta, what are you doing here?
Leonie! I was,
What is it?
I was just admiring your hard work.
If you've got time to stare, you may as well help me out. Is that all you wanted to say?
Not exactly.
Well, come on, out with it.
It's the elbow.
Your elbow looks fine to me. Is it bothering you?
Not mine, yours. Your sleeve's torn.
Huh, how about that? You're right. I didn't notice. You could have just told me right away, you know. It's just a little tear, though. Nothing to worry about.
If you don't mind, I could fix it for you. It would only take a minute.
You can do that?
I'm actually pretty good at sewing.
I never knew. Well, if you're offering, by all means. Just let me finish watering these. Oh, I guess I should get this shirt off first, though, huh?
What? Hold on, don't... You can't just...
Yeah, why would you do that when potentially guys can walk past? Yeah. Leonie and Marianne. I've definitely seen this one.
Being kicked must have hurt, didn't it, Dorte? Did they think you won't gallop unless you're... It must be difficult letting those boots...
Hey, Marianne. Really? I was sure I heard you talking to someone. By the way, are you free right now?
Is there something you need?
I was about to go buy towels and soap, but the girls saddled me with all these specific requests. They want it all to look cute or to smell a certain way, but all that's just nonsense to me. I've always made my own towels out of old scraps and soap from used cooking oil. I've never given it much thought beyond that.
Oh.
But I've noticed you've got some really nice things. So you have an eye for that stuff, right? Obviously, I give you all the credit, and I'm sure everyone would be really grateful for your help.
No. I don't deserve that kind of praise.
Really? I don't think that's true. Come on, you'll be doing me a big favor.
My adoptive father tells me I shouldn't stray too far from the monastery.
That's nonsense. You've got to get some fresh air now and again.
You can't stray too far from the monastery. I'm dragging you on missions every single month.
I should stay. Besides, I wouldn't be much help. I don't think anyone would like whatever I pick out and I'm sure that having me around would just cause you misfortune, Leon.
Are you serious?
I should stay here by myself.
No, hold on just a second. You'll cause me misfortune? What kind of backward... If you really don't want me around, then at least come... I'm sorry for the unwelcome invitation. Don't worry.
Yeah, there is reasons why Marianne does that, basically. Lysithea and Lynn.
Aha, Lysithea. It's wrong to tease, yet I can hardly help myself. I know a secret. Your secret, in fact.
I think you mean a baseless rumor. Why are you wasting your time? And mine, for that matter.
Well, it's a secret that could completely overturn what is considered common knowledge in Crest research.
Shut your mouth! Just... Let's go talk somewhere other than here. Okay, where did you hear about it?
There was a sort of accident in Professor Hanneman's room.
I should have figured. You haven't told anyone, have you?
Of course not. If someone else were to learn you have 2 crests, I might lose you as a test subject.
Please stop talking so loud. So what if I have to? If you insist on speaking of it, please do so quietly.
My intuition was correct. You do have to...
Wait, what? Did you just trick me?
Trick is such a strong word. I think of it as testing a hypothesis. The truth is, I simply made an educated guess.
Well, now that I've confirmed...
Educated from what evidence,
there's not
bro?
much I can do.
Tell me. If you have evidence of that extent, you could probably tell Edelgard has 2 too.
I disagree. For example, you could tell me if you were born with them, or is the source magical? What does it feel like to use both crests at the same time? Is it pleasant, painful, euphoric?
Enough is enough! I am done talking about... As though I'd speak of this to the likes of you.
I understand her desire for privacy, but to refuse my request for knowledge? It's... well, it's rude.
No, because if you let it slip, she'll be experimented on for the rest of her life, bro.
Ah, there it is. Just as I thought. But what is she hiding?
Oh, Linhardt. My apologies. I didn't mean to bother you.
Ah, Marianne. You're no bother at all. In fact, you've arrived at precisely the right time.
Huh? The right time for what?
You have a crest, don't you?
I don't... What are you saying?
If you hide it, that just makes it more interesting. You do have one.
Please don't tell anyone. You can't tell anyone I have a crest. If people find out, then...
What?
Please. My adoptive father told me to keep it a secret, and I personally don't want it known.
Yes, to be fair, I wouldn't either. It's not a fun crest to have, Marianne.
Who said I intended to tell anyone? Your secret is safe with me. I find it fascinating that you carry the crest of the erased hero.
Please stop. Don't say another word. No one should know about or even speak of my crest. Nothing good comes of it. It's even the reason my parents disappeared. This crest only brings bad luck to anyone who comes near me. Even you, Linhardt. You have to stay away.
Bad luck generated by the crest?
Yep, so that's why she keeps
Now
everyone
that would
away,
be a
because of this
discovery
crest
well
she
worth
has.
making. What manner of bad luck do you suppose might beset me?
No, you shouldn't be so cavalier about something you couldn't possibly understand. I have to go.
It's true, I don't understand. But I very much want to.
In a way, he's probably the most sympathetic character to everyone, because he just doesn't care about anything and only his research.